Hello, my dear friends. The entire world is watching it in horror at the events that are unfolding in the Ukraine. That Putin has unleashed the Russian army to assault and wage war with the Ukraine, totally unprovoked, shooting missiles into populated areas, killing hundreds of people. We have all seen the terrible images of bloodied faces and bodies, and the devastation and the destruction. And even those people who were not injured have had their lives turned topsy-turvy, and they have had to escape from the country. There's over 1 million refugees from the Ukraine. I was speaking to Hillel Zinkin, who, together with Seth Bertzberg, has supported the children's orphanage in Odessa. They have serviced hundreds or thousands of young children over the years, and they have built a magnificent infrastructure worth millions of dollars, and they've had to abandon everything and escape with the children. They were just successful now in having all the children escape to a neighboring country and to get out of harm's way at a very great expense. And this is the plot. This is the lot of the Ukrainian people. Their lives are totally devastated and destroyed. People have homes, people have businesses, and everything. They have to run for their lives, and the fear of being attacked, and the loss of life that's unfolding. And it's hard for us to understand how could a human being be so cruel. It's beyond our level of comprehension. I don't even know what Putin wants with the Ukraine. Seemingly because he wants to restore the Russian Empire or the USSR that existed, the Communist Empire that existed 30, 40 years ago, and this is his dream. So because he has this vision in his head, so he's willing to destroy and decimate and murder and kill and turn over the entire country. And this evening I was reading about a nuclear reactor that was attacked and set on fire, and the potential of nuclear waste escaping. It could be another Chernobyl, and it could be horrible. It could affect the entire 40 million people population of the Ukraine and beyond. So how do we understand that a human being could behave in such a manner? He's not an animal. Animals don't have compassion, but he's a human being. You see his pictures; he looks like he's a person. What's the dynamics? And the answer is that there's such a thing as narcissism, where a person only sees themselves, and they don't see. I mean, they see, but they don't care a drop about anybody else, and they have no compassion and no concern and no interest. Everything is just me. It's complete egocentric personality, that I'm the only one in the world that counts. And this behavior is not new. There's been dictators and despots and evil people throughout world history. But we're reading about it. In 2 weeks, we're going to read about it in Megillah Esther. This is the story of Haman and Achashverosh. Haman is angry at Mordechai because he won't bow down to him. So Haman not only decides he's going to kill Mordechai, but he wants to murder every single person, every single Jew in Achashverosh's domain. And as the Navi describes it, it's going to be Lahashmi Laharog Abed. He's going to destroy and annihilate. As Kol Yehudim, all the Jews, Minar Vad Zaken, young and old, Taf and Nashim, the infants and the women, B'yom Echad. One day he's going to murder millions and millions of innocent people. What did they do? He's going to just murder everybody by sword, or however they would execute the entire population. What a horrendous act! And what motivated that? It's because he's angry at Mordechai. And so by extension, because he's angry at Mordechai, it's not enough for him just to murder Mordechai. He has to murder anybody that has any connection with Mordechai, anybody that shares the same religion, the same origin. He's going to murder them together with Mordechai, and that's the same personality. That's Putin is the modern day Haman, together with all sort of numerous other people that today and years past that have been displayed the exact same behavior. And the Navi describes how after Haman convinces Achashverosh he's going to pay him a lot of money in order to annihilate the Jewish people, he says, there's no reason why the king needs to leave these people. They don't serve any. They don't do the melech and they don't do the king any good. So Achashverosh agrees. They to do this. They send out letters by the couriers that the Jews should be murdered on the day of Purim. Well, it wasn't Purim then, but the day of the 13th day of the day before Purim, 13th day of Adar, and the end of that chapter in Megillah Esther, it says, "Haratzim yatzu dechufim b'dvar HaMelech." The couriers went quickly by the order of the king. V'hadas nitno b'Shushan avira, and the decree or the edict was distributed in the capital of Shushan. So what happens? V'Hamelech v'Haman yashru lishtos. The king and Haman, they sat to drink. They had a party. They got drunk. The millions of people are in intense suffering and fearing for their lives. And Haman and the king, they're having a blast. They're having a party. They're drinking. They're getting drunk. While the city of Shushan is bewildered and stunned and overwhelmed. That is the egocentric personality. But there's a contrast to that, and that is the personality that the Chumash describes of Avraham Avinu, who is the forefather of all the Jewish people. And this quality of Avraham Avinu has been passed down from generation to generation. The Ribbon Shalom tells Avraham that Schorcha harbi mod, your reward is very great. So Avraham says, almost similar to what Haman said. Haman said, Kol zayin nishavali. Nothing. This is what Haman told his wife when he came home from after having to parade through the streets with Mordechai. So he tells his wife, he tells his wife all his wealth and how the king promoted him and how only he was invited to the meal with the king with Esther. But he says, because he's so self-centered, nothing is worth a thing to him. Why? What about all the stuff that he has? Why? Because that's, again, the quality of somebody who's self-centered. Anything that they're missing, that becomes the most important thing in the world for them, irrespective of how it affects anybody else. So what the contrast is, Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu also says a version of Chol Zayin Nishavali, that this is not worth anything to me. But it's look what he does value. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Avram, Schorcha harbi mod, your reward is great. Vayomer Avram, Hashem Elokim matiten li. God, what could you give to me? It's worthless to me. The same way Haman said, it's worthless to me. V'chol zayin nishavali. Avram says, matiten li. What can you give to me? But look at the contrast. Haman says, ein nishavali, because whenever he sees Mordechai, chol zayin nishavali. But Avram says, if I don't have children, if I don't have descendants, if I don't have people to give over my legacy, if I can't do chesed with the next generation and pass on the chesed, then matitenli. What could you give me, God? You give me riches, you give me glory and fame. It's worthless if I don't have the ability to do chesed with future generations. And here you have the two extremes. On the one hand, Avram Avinu says, "Matiten li v'anochi holach hariri." If I'm childless and I can't pass it on, if I can't do chesed with others, then matiten li, God, you can't give me anything. And Haman says, "V'chol zayin nishavali." All this is worthless. When I see Mordechai and he doesn't bow down to me, all his power and glory is worthless. So, but the contrast is Avram, it's worthless if he can't do chesed for others. And for Haman, it's worthless if he doesn't get what he wants. And that's the contrast is so powerful, and it should be for us an inspiration in these times where we are witnessing the face of evil. We don't often see it. It's, and now with YouTube and videos and everything, it's like you're there. You're mamish there. You see the horror of war. And so as we witness this unfolding right before our eyes, and it's not only we, the Jewish people, we identify with the Jews in Ukraine, but the whole world is watching in horror. It's something that the majority of people can't tolerate. They can't understand. They can't fathom. So as we watch this evil unfold, so we have to think about that Haman said, it's nothing else matters to me except what I want. But we have to follow the model of Avram Avinu, where there's nothing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can give me if I don't have an opportunity to do chesed with other people in the next generation.